Good morning. It's Vijay here. Today is the beginning of a new year, 2025. Welcome to yet another episode of Pre-Market Commentary. Here we discuss what happened yesterday and what's likely to happen today and further. This weekend, I will do a special session on what I expect through the year. But for the day, I think we are going to get into an exciting day. The reason being that yesterday, till yesterday, I would say things were more in favor of the bears as far as the selling by FIs are concerned. But if you look at the price action, it was not so easy for the bears also to make money. So let's just observe what happened. So last year, for instance, was what I called a consistently inconsistent year. We started off the year with a great hope. The Ram Mandir, everybody was looking towards that, and everybody bought into it in the month of January. February was good. March was bad as usual. Every March is bad. April onwards, elections came. Volatility happened because of the Iran-Israel conflict. Then the June election results were disappointing. The markets crashed, but then subsequently recovered. In August, we had the N problem. So again, the markets crashed, recovered. September, the Nifty peaked out. And then from there onwards, it has been a fight for the bulls. So the first half, some part of the first half belonged to the bulls, some part belonged to neither. And from end September or early October, it's been bears who have been more vocal, you could say. But the prices seem to have bottomed out sometime in early October, November. And even though we tried to approach them even yesterday, I think the bulls are holding on, not only because the bulls' strength, it is as much as the bears' weakness. As we speak, 86% of the positions in the F&O are short as far as the FIs are concerned. Generally, when the short positions go between 85 and 90, we have a durable bottom. The last two times it happened, the markets took off from there by about 10%. So this is the third time. Whether markets will be third time lucky, we'll have to check. But the FIs are very negative, which is actually a very good sign, as I say. So we were consistently inconsistent through the year. It was a wild ride. People who have survived 2024, in my opinion, will reap rich benefits in 2025. I will tell you why later during the weekend commentary. So yesterday, what happened? Markets opened lower, a lot of selling, but at the end of the day, it closed at flat line. As far as the Nifty was concerned, all the other indices closed in the positive. Bank Nifty did not do that because of the RBI report, which talked of banks getting into trouble in the next 6 months. I think RBI is scaremongering. They did this in 2022 when they said, "What if FIs leave the country?" and nothing happened. Actually, the markets went up. So I think the mavens in the RBI are very theoretical. They look at something and they try to find faults. At the end of the day, the markets behave differently. So while there was a scare among the banks, I expect the banks to do well this year, despite what RBI is saying. Because finally, the bank management is talking of good results this quarter. So I believe the management more than RBI, because RBI has made many goof-ups in the past. I don't want to list them out here, but I don't have great faith in RBI's predictions. They've been very poor. We all know that, especially GDP, inflation, raising of interest rates, coming into, giving some money here, there. All said and done, I don't think RBI has got such a great past. And future also, I expect similar activities or similar predictions from RBI, which will not do well. So IT stocks dragged the most yesterday, primarily because I think the US markets were down, and there was generally a fear that probably the stocks have run up too quickly. Mid-cap index came down about 36 points. Then Adani companies, which had gone up day for yesterday, saw profit booking, and banks underperformed, as I said on the RBI FSR report. FIs plunged heavily, and 4,650 crores worth of selling, and DIS bought worth 4,540 crores. Many people thought NAV management will be there, but those days are gone. Actually, one should look at large FII sales figures in the last week, because what I call the tax loss booking will happen by FIs. The same thing we saw in the US markets also. If you have made money, or if you're wanting to take loss, this is the time, the last week, because US has a calendar year as their financial year. We have, of course, our financial year in March, but for the FIs, their calendar year matches here, so they would have sold. So I'm not surprised by their selling yesterday. Global markets again, Dow Jones, Nasdaq, and S&P were weak. Again, expected, because the last week, 2 or 3 days will be weak, but by and large, the entire week, the 7 days, will have a Santa rally. So it is, I think, we'll still have a Santa rally in the next 3 days, which should happen here also. European markets, DAX was closed. FTSE and CAC did well yesterday. Commodities, again, we saw a rise in oil for no reason. Gold and silver, where gold was good, silver is not that good. Silver suddenly has become weak for reasons best known to the authorities. So how was markets in 2024? Sensex and Nifty, wild ride, but at the end of the year, they closed only 9%, which is, I think, one of the lowest in the last 4 years. Broader market, of course, outperformed. Nifty mid cap, Nifty small cap rose 24%, which is very good, nearly 3 times that of Nifty and Sensex. Pharma and real estate were the best performing sectors, went up nearly 40% each. I think pharma has got a long way to go in 2025. Then among stocks, Trent, M&M, Bharti were the best performing Nifty stocks. Asian Paints, Indusine, and Nestle were the worst performing stocks in Nifty 50. Then we had Dixon, which was really the star. BSE and RVNL were the top mid-cap gainers. Vodafone Idea and AU Small Finance Bank and Bandhan Bank were the top mid-cap losers. Incidentally, we have Bandhan Bank, we have pharma stocks. We also have Bandhan Bank, which was there in the losers. Zomato, M&M, Bharti are the top Sensex 30 gainers. So what happened overnight, which will benefit the chemical companies like Tata Chemicals? Government announced a minimum import price for soda ash. So if this is something to go by, maybe they may announce a minimum import price for steel. So I was bearish. I was mentioning that I'm bearish on metals. Maybe that may perk up the steel companies. I'm keeping an open mind after what the government did for the soda ash. Tata Chemicals shot up. We hold Tata Chemicals for the last few days, primarily because we are looking at Tata Investments IPO, and we are thinking that we know that Tata Chemicals and Tata Motors will be the biggest beneficiaries. So that is as far as the government is concerned. The fiscal deficit data came, fabulous fiscal deficit data, 8.47 lakh crores versus 9.06 lakh crores last year. So dramatic reduction, 52.5%. It has just gone only by 52.5% in the past 9 months. So 8 months. So we have this year 4 months. I think fiscal deficit will be controlled well within the means. So I think government is looking for an upgradation from the rating agencies. Whether we get it or not, we don't know, but that is what it is. Expenditure is the problem. It just rose a little bit. I think this quarter will have a significant rise in expenditure because their target of 1.1 trillion, out of that only about 70% has been achieved. Receipts were very good, nearly 19 lakh crores. So the government is getting enough money. And then you had the capital expenditure. You see, capital expenditure was very low, 5.13 lakh crores versus 5.85 lakh crores. So they have 11 lakh crores to spend. They have spent only about less than half of it in the first 8 months. Tax revenue was very good, 10% increase, gross tax revenue. Tax devolution to the states, of course, was higher because they got good tax revenues. Core sector data, November 8 core industries growth was at 4.3, which is again very good. And April, November 8 core industries growth was at 4.2 versus 8.7, which is slightly lower, but it was higher than October. That is something good to go. All in all, I think we are, looking forward to 2025 with more optimism. We had euphoria in the beginning of 2024. We have somewhat dark mood, sour mood in 2024, ending and beginning of 2025. I think at least for the first 3 months, things will be very bright for the Indian economy, and therefore some of it should get reflected in the markets. I go with optimism in 2025. I think 2025 will be very memorable, at least for the first 3 months. After that, we'll have to take it as we go along, because you have Trump. After that, we'll see what he does, and then we have the monsoons. We also have the budget. So many things are there, but first, the January should be good, and I think first 3 months should be good. So I go with optimism, and of course, I'm not planning to do much today because volatility will be there, and things will be, it will not be clear. But I am into pharma, I'm into banks, public sector banks, and these should do well, in my opinion, for the next 3 months. So, whatever you do today, I hope it is successful. A very happy new year once again. Thank you for joining me.